Tayshia's journey for love has 1 month left to go, and we are down to just 12 guys remaining, meaning things are about to get serious as we slowly approach the final 6, hometowns, and Tayshia making her final rose pick. And this week we not only got a preview for next episode, we also got a super teaser season preview that includes extra footage with Tayshia, as well as a longer season teaser with the Bachelor Matt James I'll be diving into tomorrow. So for this video, I'm going to be looking at week 8's preview first, and then the segments of that teaser involving Tayshia afterwards. And you won't want to miss that as we get into some serious sleuthing that confirms one man who's going to make it to hometowns and the final 4. So let's get the usual rules out of the way. No posting spoilers in the comment section below unless they've been sleuthed out, and it's time to check out this footage.
I feel a way that I didn't truly believe I would ever feel.
Alright, so here we're getting shots of 2 one-on-ones. The first being some sort of haunted house date with Easy, then here with Zach and Tayshia in wedding attire that I'd wager is a photoshoot date. That's a pretty typical date to see on the show, and if you look carefully, you can see lighting equipment, and all through the footage there are camera flashes. This is also a date we sleuthed out during Claire's portion of the show, where they gave us this shot that was secretly Tayshia the whole time. We also have Easy getting a one-on-one, and it looks like we've entered the portion of the show where we get 2 one-on-ones each episode and 1 group date, instead of the other way around, which always happens once the number of guys gets lower. Last season this happened the week before at 15 men, but with the strange nature of Claire and Tayshia's season, it's come an episode later.
This is the beginning of true love.
Going to pause right here to point out yet another shot that was put into Claire's season preview, but was actually Tayshia the whole time. This one too is with Zach, and it looks to be from the night portion of their one-on-one date. Zach is also saying here that this is the beginning of true love. No surprise, as Zach seems to be one of the frontrunners.
I haven't felt this feeling ever in my life.
I honestly feel like I'm falling in love with you.
And more proclamations of love for Tayshia. This one from Easy here seems to be from their one-on-one date. The other is from Ben, who says he's never felt this way before in his life. They also throw in shots of Brendan and Riley to add to this romance section of the preview. And this is from the same night, as you can see Tayshia is wearing the same outfit in both shots. So this appears to be from the group date next episode. But enough of that romance section, let's get to the drama.
The behaviors that I've seen out of you have been juvenile.
To you, I would say the same thing.
And here comes the setup. Bennett's been involved in a lot of man drama these past couple of episodes, and now that Wolverine is gone, he has his sights set on Noah. What a strange contestant Bennett's been. He's had strokes of genius, but then he gets involved in drama, and that never ends well.
Noah and Bennett, there's something going on between you two, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I have to send one of them home, but I don't know which one.
A classic Bachelorette 2-on-1 is on its way. Bennett and Noah. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. And now we're getting into a more traditional season. I'll talk about who I think goes once we get through the rest of the footage.
I'm not going home because some snob tried to drag my name through the mud.
There are 4 components of emotional intelligence. You are deficient in 3 of those 4.
So we finally get to see what Bennett majored in at Harvard, cause it definitely wasn't music, math, or spelling. It's emotional intelligence. I just hope this goes better than it did for Taylor and Corinne.
I didn't know if you had the maturity or the emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence?
So intelligence can mean a variety of different areas.
Okay.
So I used everything I learned getting my The Bachelor's degree to figure out what the 4 components of emotional intelligence are. AKA I Googled it. The 4 components are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Maybe Bennett thinks he has some self-management now that he's shaved his stash.
If you said that with Tayshia sitting right here,
I'll say it to her
Tayshia would
tonight.
send you home.
Now, if you haven't seen a 2-on-1 before, this is how it usually goes down. The 2 contestants will meet up and wait for Tayshia, then each one goes off for a private chat. Tayshia comes back and picks one to stay and receive a rose for the week. Often they follow that up with a one-on-one date, but in recent seasons, like Peter's for example, that's not been the case. And just because Noah's talking about Tayshia sending Bennett home, doesn't mean she can't also send Noah home too.
Is this like what goes on between you two? This teenage boy drama is ridiculous.
And there, this first segment ends, with some teenage boy drama. And seeing how little patience Tayshia has for the drama thus far, might be a bad sign for both these guys no matter who goes home of the two. Speaking of which, who of these guys do I think is most likely going home? Bennett. I don't think Tayshia's all that into him, and there's a bit of footage later on, in the season preview footage from that super teaser I talked about, that could indicate Noah's staying. So let's now transition into that bit of footage and see what we can learn from here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Wow, that's a major cry with Tayshia saying she's sorry. Could be her breaking up with someone late in the game. Now, we have seen footage from this night before, with Tayshia in the same outfit and crying, in the full season preview for Tayshia we got a few weeks ago. Here's the clip. Now, in this shot, you can see Tayshia is sitting with someone else. Of course, there are a lot of things this could be. The person could very well be a producer, but if it's a contestant, the arm is kinda tan and it's not very muscular. Looks like Brendan to me. I have more evidence to back this up in a bit as well, so let's continue with the footage.
Nobody's really feeling confident.
What just happened?
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
So here we get a number of shots of the men in shock. Here's a shot of Noah that we haven't seen before, and that's the reason why I think he could stay and Bennett could go in the 2-on-1. Now yes, this shot could be from before the 2-on-1, but the fact that there's footage of Noah in this preview and none of Bennett is what's giving me the edge to Noah on getting that rose. What's also interesting is this. Brendan teary-eyed, on the same couch as this shot, wearing the same shirt. And Brendan has the exact same build. Yes, there's also this shot of Ben in a white shirt, but it's not the same white shirt, and Ben is a little more muscular than this. But before we deep dive into why Brendan and Tayshia are having a conversation that causes both of them to cry, there's more footage to add to this, so let's continue.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
I can't.
This thing could be the bomb that just explodes everything.
Now here we get some excellent new footage. We get a shot of Ben in a tighter white shirt, which now puts some doubt into whether this is Brendan or Ben. We get a shot of Tayshia at a different angle on this couch with more men, meaning the context of this huge cry is now tougher to pin down. But the ultimate bit of info is right here. This shot of Ivan crying. Because something really bugged me about this photo. It's this guy in the back who's consoling Ivan. So I wanted to see who this might be, which of the other contestants. But I've never seen these tattoos before. No one with that skin tone that's left has full arm tattoos or forearm tattoos. So I went and looked back at all the footage I could where forearms were exposed, like the cage match date, for example. The closest I came up with was Jordan, who has a single tattoo on his forearm, but Jordan is gone now. And then it hit me. Maybe this person consoling Ivan isn't a contestant. So I went to Ivan's Instagram, and there I found this. A shot of Ivan's brother. The one he talked about last episode. Look at the arm tattoos. That's Ivan's brother consoling him. Now, why would Ivan's brother be there? For one simple reason, of course. A hometown date. Meaning Ivan is going to make it to the final four. But why is Ivan crying? Does he get eliminated? Not necessarily. We saw how emotional it was for Ivan to talk about his brother last episode. Perhaps the reason Ivan is crying is because he's seeing his brother at the resort. Maybe he wasn't expecting him. And with Ivan in more casual clothing, this doesn't look like he just came back from a rose ceremony elimination or something. So this could be him crying out of happiness just seeing his brother. Either way, looks like we have some strong evidence that Ivan is headed for hometowns. But with how Ivan's been connecting with Tayshia, that's not much of a surprise. Alright, let's move on.
I'm so confused.
Like, this is really real for me.
Tayshia.
I don't want you to be making the biggest mistake of your life.
And we get a slew of more crying shots, and then Tayshia's dad showing up, likely for when they get down to the final two. I also want to say that this shot here, and looking at Brendan's arm, makes me believe that it's Brendan in this shot.
It's just like a lot. It's like a what?
And
there, the Tayshia section of the super teaser ends, and moves into Matt James, which I'll be talking about tomorrow. This last bit of preview footage, however, is just from last episode's one-on-one with Ivan, so nothing new there. But wow, what a preview to break down. We have some sort of event that sends Tayshia into tears that involves Brendan or Ben, likely Brendan, but we don't know the details of it, or if the events already happened when she's talking to this guy or the other guys. It's a hard one to pin down, but I guess you can also use this information to safely speculate that Brendan's going far. Then there was this shot with Ivan and his brother. But let's finish up the breakdown by talking about next week. The one-on-ones are easy as we got footage of both, and I'd imagine both guys are getting roses, unless Easy is pulling the Hail Mary I'm falling in love with you, and Tayshia isn't feeling it. But Zach, for sure, is getting a rose. As for eliminations, Bennett is on my list alongside Ed and Blake. Damar seems iffy too, but you could really take your pick of anyone other than Ben, Zach, Ivan, and Brendan, and you'd have a good shot of being right. Either way, I can't wait to see how it all actually turns out next week. So that's it for this preview breakdown for week 8, plus some bonus footage for the season. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to like and subscribe if you did. I'll be back soon with more Matt James footage to break down, so until then, Bachelor Fantake, out.
There are 4 components of emotional intelligence. You are deficient in 3 of those 4.
Okay.